one thing I love about social media, though, is the information that we're allowed to be, privy to now. Like before we had to take the media's word for it. Like, we just watched, this is what happened over here, this is what happened over there. We just believed it, but now it's like we have people who are doing great, journalism and actually getting on the ground and investigating and, we're able to find these people on social media and connect with them. And, I think that's one good thing about X.
Yeah, for better or for worse. I mean, on the inverse, you have a bunch of weirdos doing the same thing and causing problems.
Right.
AOC would never have gotten elected to office if it wasn't for the internet. She and the squad get all their donations from outside their district. So basically, you get some fringe crackpot that no one thinks is worth, electing. But then she tells all the other fringe crackpots around the country and they donate money to her and then she's rich and then she,
and all that internet censorship is to prevent a crazy person from getting all these votes and money from all around the world and becoming powerful. They're like, we can't, but then that's like happening anyway. So, and we're free speech. We don't want to censor people like Cortez, anybody really, if you want to use the law to your advantage and use social media to get elected.
These companies are doing it anyway, though. I was talking about it on the ride up. If you've been on TikTok, I've been banned about 7 to 8 times on TikTok already. Okay, so these companies are doing it already. Facebook just took me down for like 2 weeks, and Mark Zuckerberg supposedly, changed his ways. Right? He grew out the hair, and he's cool now, and he supports Trump. But
Lies.
I was taken down off Facebook for about 2 weeks straight. They just put my personal page back up. Like I said, TikTok 8 times been banned. Instagram censors me out of this world.
Dude, that's and TikTok is the most censorious, but you got Trump sycophants who are just acting like, let's not ban it, let's not control it. And I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't like the way they went about the ban because I felt like it was going to set a precedent so they could ban X next.
That's a lie.
You don't think it would have? I was concerned that it would have.
This is the funniest thing. There was never a component of that. We went through the bill over and over and over again. It was never going to ban X. There were just people who wanted to defend TikTok who were lying. TikTok is bad. We need control of it.
And then they banned it. They passed the bill. And then Trump just was like, yeah, we're just going to ignore it. What happened? Did they repeal it? Did it not go through the Senate?
Bill?
Yeah.
It's passed.
So how is he just ignore?
Exactly. What is the mechanism by which the president of the United States has ignored a bill that was passed by both houses of Congress, signed by the president, and upheld by the Supreme Court, and the president goes, no.
Orange man bad.
Is it because we're in a state of emergency so he can override?
No, he's just not doing it. Ostensibly, the president can decide how he executes laws passed by Congress. And he's decided that he's going to execute this one slow and sloppy, maybe? I mean, or that he's not going to execute it. The president shouldn't have this discretion, right? Congress passes a law, the president, especially one that goes to the SCOTUS, and the Supreme Court comes down and says, yes, this is okay. And, like Tim said, one that he himself signed, right? So the Congress passes it, the president signs into
Biden
law.
signed it. Like right before he left office.
Was it Biden?
I think Biden signed it.
Oh, Biden signed it. Okay, my bad. So Biden signs it, goes to the SCOTUS, comes back, and then President Trump just decides he's not going to. This is the same reasoning that President Obama used when it came to like Dreamers, right? The deferred action for whatever residents or whatever.
Childhood arrivals.
Yeah. These people were here illegally, but they came here as children, and President Obama said, we're not going to deport them because it's mean. But legally, they're supposed to get deported. But the president has that kind of discretion as to how he's going to implement the laws passed by Congress. In my opinion, it should not be. He shouldn't have so much leeway. He should have to, particularly when there are certain things that he's forced to, like when it comes to like spending bills and stuff like that. He has to spend all of the money. If I understand correctly, he has to spend all the money, and if he doesn't, that's some kind of dereliction that Congress would get all worked up about. So he should be required to actually enforce the laws that are passed.
I like that discretion on how to uphold the law within like some sort of variant or gradient of actually enforcing the law. Like you can't just use your discretion to enforce it 0. It has to be at least you're enforcing it, and then you can maybe have some leeway of how you're going to do that.
Mm-hmm. I would think so, but apparently not.
You know, so I get it.
Especially something that's like TikTok is national. The point of TikTok is it's national security, ostensibly, right? There are people that are going to say, "Oh, it's because of Israel and stuff," but the argument is this is a national security issue because it's owned by China. And China, again, I completely agree when people say that China is not a friend; they are actually a rival. Their behavior and their long-term goals are a threat to the United States. We should not be playing with China like this. We should have a hard line with China.
Yeah, and they flat out just ban conservatives and Trump supporters, and while letting all other kinds of content just go crazy and promote, the gender fluidity to kids and, people having chopped off members. They have no problem promoting that stuff, but when it comes to conservative views, they silence people. And I'm a living example of that about 7-8 times. And it's not like I'm on there bashing people or anything. I'm not. I'm giving a Christian conservative view on things.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.